Hey guys, Hybrid.
And this is the White Sheep.
Yes, so this video is about, if the Marvel Cinematic Universe should have a Civil War movie in it. Now, just letting you guys know right off the bat, stay to the end of the video, because at the end of the video we have a very, very, very important announcement.
Easter egg scene, sort of, but there are going to be no credits, so.
Yes. So, without further ado, let's get into the topic. So, a lot of people have been campaigning for Marvel to do a Civil War movie. A lot of people want it for Avengers 4. A lot of people want them to forget about Thanos and do Avengers 3 as Civil War.
I mean,
Now,
it's crazy, because I think you
yeah.
mentioned it the last time we recorded this, actually. I'm going to steal it.
Yeah.
So many people have grown up with Civil War. So many people that are, I guess, our age, really, kind of really got into comics at, like, that point.
Yeah.
When the Marvel Universe is pretty much being torn apart by Civil War. So it's really, it's a central and integral arc and event in the hearts of a lot of comic book fans, even though it may not be to a lot of other comic book fans. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty divisive.
Yeah, like I know, to me, because I was reading comics like off and on kind of before Civil War, but a lot of the comics I read were like older comics.
Yeah.
And everything. I didn't really read that much of the newer stuff just because I didn't like it that as much at the time. But yeah, I can understand why people want to see it so much. Just like me, for example, if they made a Shazam like movie, or not Shazam, but if they made another Batman movie, like me, for example, I would love to see Tim Drake done, just because that's Robin I grew up with, and I really liked that storyline. But moving on to a Civil War movie for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, staying somewhat on topic today, hopefully. Yeah, so I don't think we should have one. The reason why, or at least I don't think they're going to make one. Now, the reason why I say that is for a few reasons. First off, we don't have enough characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe yet to really have a Civil War.
Yeah.
Like, we could have a 5-on-5 basketball game, for Civil War, I guess.
Pretty much.
But we wouldn't have a like it was in the comics by all. Like, it would be nothing like the comics, especially because we're missing key characters like Spider-Man. He was a very central character in Civil War for a lot of people, because a lot of people have always connected with Spider-Man. But a big thing about him was, him keeping a secret identity a secret. So when he came out, that was a really big deal. And obviously the repercussions of that followed. And then, him going from Iron Man's side to Captain America's was a pretty big deal too. Also, we don't have corporate douchebag Tony Stark in the MCU. Sorry, all the corporate douchebaggers, guys, peoples out there that love that, I guess. Also, like Black Panther hasn't been introduced yet. Storm is with Fox. We wouldn't have their marriage, which was a pretty big deal during the Civil War.
Smack dab right in there. Didn't last too long. It was Kardashian in
Yeah,
nature.
it was Yeah, it was. But honestly, I do think for Captain America 3, my theory for that movie is actually that we will get the Superhuman Registration Act in some form, and also Crossbones attempting to kill Captain America, or at least killing him. Then we learn he's not actually dead, or maybe they'll actually say he's dead. A reason I say that though is because a lot of people want a Civil War movie. Marvel obviously acknowledged that years ago when they said maybe we can get that. Obviously at this point, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. So I think with the fallout of Age of Ultron, because Tony Stark makes Ultron, and Ultron does a lot of crazy shit around the whole world. I'm sure the governments are going to want to crack down on superheroes, especially just superhumans in general. So I'm sure we're going to get the Superhuman Registration Act in that capacity. But CJ, say your thing.
I mean, I was just going to interject and say they've kind of been sowing the seeds for a long time. Like in the end of the Avengers, you've got that one senator saying, oh, who's going to pay for this? And then moreover in Captain America, they kind of sow the seeds even more. Like maybe it's okay in the Avengers that they had that trouble because they were working for the government. But now S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone. S.H.I.E.L.D. has been basically blown up. In Avengers 2, they're going to assemble on their own. Joss Whedon has said that. We know that. They're an independent force, like an NGO. Some might even call them terrorists.
Yeah, because they're more destruction.
They're an independently acting force. And so in Captain America, you see so much destruction because of a superhero. Basically what we're seeing is, the president captured because of, superheroes in Iron Man 3, huge devastation in Thor 2. It's sort of all building to that.
Yeah.
But that in Avengers 2 is going to be global, so it's going to be a global meltdown. But I think the Tropic Thunder reference. I think we might see the Superhuman Registration Act. I think it's definitely very, very good that you point that out, because I think that's sort of what we're heading towards. And that leads me to my point, which is even though they won't probably do a full-on Civil War film, although they might, which is my second point, I think they'll do what they always seem to do with comic movies and borrow. Like they'll borrow certain elements. Like
definitely.
TDKR borrowed Nightfall. It wasn't perfect. I mean, I wish it was, but they borrowed it. You know, Avengers borrowed some stuff. Captain America: Winter Soldier borrowed Brubaker's run a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
A lot of it.
But it's so everything in comics is always borrowed.
Very, very true.
I'm not going to be as negative as you. I'm going to say it could happen. It's a matter of the Johnny Manziel, the show me the money.
Yeah. Show me the money.
Because if you want to make Civil War in Iron Man 4, which wouldn't make much sense to me. I think if you were going to do Civil War, make it Avengers 3, push Thanos back to 4, and then you can have it be, you know, divisive like that. But essentially, since we know Thanos is Avengers 3, let's say push it back to Avengers 4. Okay, Tony Stark, you're going to pay Robert Downey Jr. $75 million. You're going to have to pay all the other cast members
a lot more.
Probably, yeah.
Especially Chris Evans for Cap.
Yeah, he's a big star.
I'll go with Bucky.
Chris Hemsworth, also a big star. They're just going to have to pay everybody a lot more money, so it's probably going to be the most expensive movie ever made. And in that sense, they might decide to be, you know, they might decide to pull a Josh and say, I don't see it, you know, happening just because of the money. But who knows? It's up there. I'd love to see it. It's an important run to me. It really got me into comics.
It was in Ultimate Alliance 2, which me and CJ used to co-op in all the time.
Oh my god.
It gets good memories.
Ultimate Alliance 3, please.
Yes. Please. Actually, I would love Ultimate Alliance 3 based on Infinity.
But the story for another time.
Yeah, that's another video. Anyways, moving on. So, yeah, basically, I don't see one. Also, it kind of deconstruct the Avengers.
Yeah.
At this time, which would really be not the best thing because they're still building them up as a team. Which obviously this would be after Avengers 2, and Avengers 3. So you know we would have the team together for a while. But all in all, I just don't see it happening. I don't think we should have it, especially because we're missing so many characters.
If they want to end these guys out, like, because we're thinking Avengers 3 is the end of, you know, more or less the Avengers team as is constituted. That's when everyone's contracts run out.
Yeah.
It just makes sense for them to end it at that point. And if it's the end of the run, we wouldn't really want to leave, even if they re-up for, like, one big grand finale. I'm sure they'd want to leave on a positive note. They wouldn't want to leave with like a sour taste in the mouth, which was essentially like the end of Civil War was pretty bitter. It wasn't like it wasn't a happy ending.
Death of Captain America is where it ended.
Exactly. I don't think you want to end the MCU as constituted on that point. Of course, it's going to carry on with other films and other characters, but you know the sense now is that it'll be like a passing of the torch, like to the next group once you know Avengers 3 happens.
Yeah, no, I think I like how you mentioned like that one big finale. That's pretty much what Avengers 3 did because they got Robert Downey Jr. to sign on for Avengers 2 and 3. And 3 is like and you mentioned this earlier when a lot of their contracts end will be Avengers 3.
Yeah.
So that probably will be their big bang, and I'm sure they're gonna do something amazing with Thanos and all that good stuff. But
I guess to wrap up.
Yeah, to wrap up, I don't think it's going to happen. It's just that it's a decent storyline, the whole Civil War story itself for Marvel. But the reason why it's so memorable and the reason why so many people like it as much as they do, you know, years later, you know, with all the other Marvel events that have happened, is because of the characters involved and what happened with the characters. And sadly, a lot of those central characters are missing from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or if they're in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're nothing like they are in the comic at that time. So you'd have to really bend yourself over backwards, especially for Tony Stark, to make him the character he was in Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
But CJ, you say your piece.
Anyways, I kind of agree. I would love to see it, and I think there's some ways it could happen. I would say anything is really possible. But who knows? It doesn't look good. It's like the 8 balls. It's Josh's like prospects are unlikely, and I'm more like shake, 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 ask again later. It's ask me in 3 years when we know how Avengers 2 panned out.
Exactly. So that's it for the Civil War stuff for the video. Now we get to the awesome announcement stuff, which you know we've been really looking forward to.
We've been sitting on this.
Yeah, we've been sitting on this, keeping it really close knit between me, CJ, and Will, who does a lot of tech stuff behind the scenes, but he's going to be much more active with what we're about to announce.
Yes, he's an integral player in the sound project that we've been teasing for weeks.
Yes.
And interestingly enough, it's something we've thought about, but it's something that we had kind of wanted to launch a little earlier. I preached caution.
Yes.
and we eventually decided to hold over until now. But it's a project we're going to announce a couple weeks in advance.
Yes.
Build hype.
Yes. So the channel's made right now, and I had a whole speech prepared earlier, and I'm gonna try repeating it. Anyways, every channel, and I've never met a channel that hasn't done this. Every channel has reached a point in their lives on YouTube where they want to grow and expand. Usually, a channel that's like our channel, they'll expand to something like gaming, or just movies or something like that, which is fine.
Encompassing more aspects of pop culture.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what they want to do. I just think that's boring. And I think that's, everyone else is doing it, so why do it? Why follow everybody else?
I mean, we'll get there eventually, I think. Well, but right now we want to strike out in a bold new direction.
Yeah, like we want to be different. We want to be bold and essentially kind of pioneer a new type of entertainment. Because when people go to this new channel, they're not going to initially think, oh, this comes from a comic book channel. No, anyways, to just say it outright, we are making a music-based channel. We'll be reviewing music, making music, posting music. We'll be doing a lot of that, and I know a lot of people are probably concerned, oh, is it just going to be EDM music or dubstep or hip hop rap beat stuff? No, we'll be doing all genres of music, maybe even some classical and country rock will be in there, because Will's going to be doing a lot of this the music stuff with it, producing music for the channel wise, and he loves playing guitar, so if you ask him to play, enough songs on the guitar, he will do it.
Yeah. I think it's a big part to realize is we've already got some content going. It's not just going to be Will sitting there making music.
We'll all be participating.
A big part of the channel will be album reviews, single reviews, song reviews, music news, as well as hosting some music of up-and-coming and emerging artists to get that out there.
Yeah, honestly, it's going to be a fun thing to do. A nice direction, a nice step in a direction that I think a lot of people probably wouldn't expect for us to take. But also, I just think in general, it's nice to do something different, not do something that everyone else has done.
Yeah.
Because there's millions, thousands of gaming channels out there. They're the same thing for movie-based channels and news channels in general. But honestly, even though we are making a music channel, which I know there are a few of, I like to think we're a bit different still, because we're going to be doing music news, we're going to be making music, we're going to be reviewing music. There's very few channels that do all of those.
Yeah.
Kind of like we do with this channel. We do a lot of original content on Hybrid Network, and we do regular stuff like news reviews.
Yep.
So it's gonna be fun.
I think it is gonna be fun. I think when it all comes down to it, when it's all said and done, we're music fans. We're music lovers. The both of us, and Will included. And I think most people are music fans. So I think it's really good. So go support us. You can go subscribe to the channel now, actually. We have it created. Please go do that. If you like music, just stick around. I think it'll be a fun ride. Definitely different, not comic book music, unless that comes up at some point.
We may do a little crossover, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. And this drives our efforts, too, because William actually created our outro. He built our intro, but he created our outro songs. So I think,
it gives him a chance to do more too.
Yes, it gives him a chance to drive his passion and work with us a little bit more. So, anyways, I guess that about wraps up the super special secret announcement.
Yes. Yeah, go check it out. The logo has been probably on the screen for a few minutes now, maybe. So you can go click on that. We'll put an annotation over it, so you can just go directly there. Also, if you want to find it easier, youtube.com. Or not find it easier, but also find it via the URL, youtube.com/hybridsound27. If you want to email us about it at all, it's hybridsound27@gmail.com. And yeah, I hope you guys support us in this bold new direction. I know not all of you will, but I hope enough of you will give it a chance. And that's really all we're asked, to just give it a chance. So signing off, this is Hybrid.
And this is the White Sheep.
We'll see you guys later.